In this video I'm going to make a nice rustic table from fallen logs using mainly my chainsaw. Now 18 months back I made a table very similar to the one I'm going to be making today, except today's is going to have a little bit more meaning to it. It's going to be a gift for my daughter. She just loved my other table and I've decided to make one for her barbecue area in her backyard. Now need a bit of a glossier top on the top so she can wipe it, keep it clean, and we don't want splinters hanging off it for kids, but still have the rustic feel. So nice and chunky. We'll see how it all plays out. So hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. Ah, looking good. Quite happy with that. 4 legs. I'm sort of thinking about that far apart, sideways. So I'd put a rails would sort of stick out something like that to there. So we've got about 1400. There's one. Nobody hiding underneath. There you go. So I want the other one to sort of match him now. So he's it's at 180, near enough. Now a safety message. Chainsaws are dangerous. Get the proper training, learn to use your chainsaw safely. I'm not a good role model for this. I'm going to go with that. It's pretty good. Alright, found me next one. It's this fella. See on that layout, that's solid. Nobody home, no snakes. Alright, good. Alright, so I'm thinking here, so it's easy. And about 21 up, I'll get 24 again. And cut it back, there's 25, 24. Okay. So we just go up there somewhere. I think that's about the centre. Come down to about there. Oops, there we go. Now they're going to fall on me. Beautiful. These logs were cut freehand with a chainsaw, and they're the ones I'll be working with today. And these are the same logs after routing and a quick sand. Right. So the first job we'll be doing, we'll be running the router along the top on a bit of a jig I'll make, and that'll get rid of all these chainsaw marks and level it all up. So really nice boards. The reason it looks a little bit like it's already been painted, I put a really light coat of oil on it just to stop them drying out too much. I've got 7 logs. I'll be starting off with the worst log. I think it's good practice to start with the worst log first. Right, so there's my levelling stand. I'm quite happy. It's level sideways, and we've just used a couple of gorilla stands and clamped the steel rails to it. So I've put some really heavy blocks of wood in there, and that ain't going anywhere. Alright, so these two are level this way, and this way doesn't matter so much because we'll line the wood up with the router bit, and we'll be sliding the router up and down. So we've got everything nice and level. Now it's just a matter of blocking the wood to exactly where we want it. That's our first plank in there, ready to be levelled. You can see I just put a couple of blocks up the side. Nothing screwed, oh well, the blocks are screwed down, but nothing screwed to the actual plank. It's just jammed in there. It's quite heavy too, so I've done the same down the other end. That is set just below the 2 rails. And then we'll be putting the router on and running along. And you see this dips a little bit in the middle and comes back up. So by the time we get to that, it'll all look good. I've levelled all the boards. Now we've still got the router marks through it. So I'm just going to run the sander over it, get rid of everything, get it down nice and flat, make sure I'm happy with it. So we'll do that on all of them. Right, there's a bit of a decent crack here. I've just sanded it. We'll whack a bit of glue in it, clean him up, give it a chance to dry. Just level this off. So that's all done. Now we just have to cut them off to height, so they're all the same height. So what we've got is a string line running from there straight across over to the other side. And now I've measured from my bench up to the string line, and that's the height I want to cut these logs off. Now, by rotating the log and just marking this section here, I can't go wrong. It has to be the same height, and therefore every log has to end up the same height because we're rotating it onto this string. Right, I've paired up the legs, and I'm thinking that makes a pretty good pair. So from the side of the table you'd see that view of him. The lighting's not the best here, probably. and that'll be the view from that side of that one. Now, these will be the cross pieces, and I've picked that as the top. So there we go, all marked out. So this will get cut out with a chainsaw, and it's right across there. So from there in and there in will be gone down to that line. And he's the same. Oh, texture shows up a bit better on this fella. So that's going. So we'll cut that block out straight across there, and naturally down the other side. Well, nearly messed up. I marked these cutouts to take that bit out as if the cross pieces were running that way, but they're not, they're running sideways. So I've remarked more in the ends, so the two pieces will run sideways like that. Found it in time. Not that it would have mattered, I would have just had to turn these around. But I've sort of picked this as the faces I like. So you're looking, this is the end of the table, you'll look at the side and this. So I've got the worst side facing under the table. So, and he's the same, this is the end of the table, and that's the two sides. So we just end up with a few more lines on the block, but that's the way I've got to cut straight through there. What I did plunging the chainsaw into the log is right up there with the advanced stuff. Very dangerous. You end up with a kickback. A kickback is when the outside edge of the bar hits something, and because the chain's running that way, it runs back out and it goes fast. Anyway, I don't recommend anyone doing it. I actually advise you not to do it, but just made my job a little bit quicker, that was all. Enough of me dribbling on. Things around. Away. only about 4 foot, so alright. So I'm just trimming back to there somewhere. And this one's got a little dip down, so we'll be able to chop as much as we can off there. So now this one here. Somewhere around there. Yeah, so just a touch. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So that's where we'll go with it. So I'll be cutting notches. It'll purely be a down here, down there, and then we'll trim it in so it's there's only 4 inches left here, which will drop neatly into that gap. And same with him. So that's the gap we're talking about. So looking at the end of this, we'll just cut the notch out. This is the important bit where we start having a label, and you can see I've got an A there and an A on this end, and the A is pointing upwards, so that matches that. Got a B, because the cut marks on here are not the same as the other side. You can see here this other side is set back in. So, alright. So now we want a centre line down the top, and we can measure out from that. I've done the string line, and I've marked the line with a texter. We've got a line there. This is the bit we're cutting out. The line here, and the one on the other side is further in. So the actual chainsaw cut will be on a big angle, like that. And that's because of that. This is set in further than that, so you don't want a big cut out here and then in. So I've set it in to try to match everything. So every log's bit of an individual. He's the same, he goes back the other way. So now I'll just join these lines, whatever angle they're on, from this side to the other side, and then we'll work out how far out we got to go. basically that's the cap to drop down in, and the holes in underneath. Like the same on the other side. Now, the idea is to just trim through here with a bit of, just cut down and get rid of this bit, and that'll let, when this slides down the outside edge of this, because it's so deep, be sitting somewhere around here, neatly buried in. If I cut this back here, then we would have this big flat sitting out like that, and it probably wouldn't look really good. So I'll trim in here now, and I'll trim through here, down, do the same here. Same on this one, he's reasonably wide, so we'll just trim him to make him sit nicely, and this fella the same. Beautiful. Alright, so there's that joint. There we go. Down. I'm going to think that's going to drop further down. Yeah. Yeah. Because we want, say, about that level to be level with the top of this, because that'll make the tabletop about the right height. So we've still got to go down this far, and we'll do that by cutting this on a 45 across like that, and this down, and I'll knock the arch off the bottom inside here. So this will come down. That'll come down something like that, and they'll meet. And that gap there will be that gap there that we've got to drop. And therefore we should get this nice 45 looking thing with the log sticking out here. Too fussy here. Just want to get the angle about right. So that's about 45. now. So my table is level. I'll have it on the bench. The top of these two legs are level. So now I'll just bring this down. I don't want to go down to the legs. I want to sort of finger gap, would you say, just above. So that'll do is flatten. Alright, so now we can see the boards. So we've got 7 boards. And that's the table legs. So what I've done is put the table legs about the right distance apart. You just want to get your legs under the ends if you can. So I'll be trimming about an inch off the end. So it'll be somewhere around the mark. Now for the next bit, got to make them all nice and level. Now to make them level, right, that's the top of the board. I'm going to leave a 2-inch gap from there to there, and I'm going to cut a groove up like that, so that'll be gone. So all we'll be left with is a 2-inch strip of timber there. So once I've cut these to 2 inches thick, and I've done it to every board, and I sit them on a bit of wood sitting here, the top of the boards should all be sitting pretty flush because they're all 2 inches thick. So that'll let me start lining up and matching them in, so the curves are all really nice. But first off, let's give us a nice level surface to work from. Right, so I'm just going to do it on the drop saw. I'll set the depth on here to 2 inches. So I'll be able to trim off everything but 2 inches on the logs. I've temporarily bolted these to my trolley, and they're the right distance apart, should fit in the grooves once I cut the groove out of the timbers. Right, I've done my cutout on all the boards. Yeah, and then other end. Right, so ended up a little bit under 2 inches, but that's fine. They're all the same. So what we've got now is at that point they're all the same width. So when I flip them over and sit them on this bit of wood, which will drop into this gap, the top of all the boards should be level. And that'll let me work on fixing up gaps, whatever. This is how I close the gaps on these log tables. First I sort the boards for the best possible fit. Now you want to keep the best possible two boards for the outside of the table. Well, that's as good as I can get it. So I'm not impressed at all with this gap. But all these others will close up nicely. Just want a little bit of a run with the chainsaw. So anyway, stop talking about it and get into it, I suppose. Now a safety message. Chainsaws are dangerous. Get the proper training, learn to use your chainsaw safely. I'm not a good role model for this. Now that we've got where they only fit one way, we have to number these. So we got 1, 2, 7. Yep, that'll do. 47 inches. How good's that? I was not expecting that. I was expecting to have to shave some of these down to get it back in somewhere around square. Not that it has to be square, but it worked out better than I thought. I will knock these so they look a bit more like logs. He's alright, but this fella wants a bit of a curve there, and he wants the same. So it'll only be the end bits, and I'll do that last thing once I get my act together. And same down the other end. Drilled and countersunked. I'll just bolt him on, just temporarily with a few screws. The actual outside of this steel, that line there, is that'll be cut off. That's the width of the table, and same on the other side. So I've done both, so we got our 2 sets of steel ready to go. Right, so I've got the 2 legs the right distance apart. I've temporarily screwed our plates on, so both have got the plates. Now, between the 2 legs is the distance I want. Now the plan is to do a cutout in the bottom of the logs, the width of this. Now I've got my original cutout over there, as you can see. Right, so I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger. So now that we know what we're doing, so it'll be that wide, tapered down slightly, tape it out here, and then the log will sit like that, and we'll screw up to bolt the logs on. So that's the plan. So to get there, I've got my centre line, and I've marked the 2 marks on this straight edge, which I've got my centre line, and I've just got to transfer the 2 marks to the boards and then cut the bottom of them. Right, so that's our steel we've got on the top of the legs. So there's your leg. Right. Yeah. And this is the inside of the table. So it overhangs, and so obviously the boards sit there. I'm going to have it, I've cut it on about a 20-degree angle so that I can get the bolt up underneath. So if I come straight down, some of these are going to make it almost impossible to be able to get the bolt up to bolt the logs on the top. So I've cut it out on about a 20-degree angle, and I'll be able to get a socket up there. Now, in saying that, these fellas need cutting off. There's no doubt they're going to line up with a few bolts, and I've just put a little blue mark on it, so I'll get them with the chainsaw. So now there's my 20 degrees. Just extended this too, so it's 6 inches at the bottom now, and I've got the inside edge done, so I'm happy with that. This one will have to match the log, so we'll jump back over here. So you can see here, it would come straight down, so I'll trim these just on a bit of an angle, just the outside edge of those gaps. But getting there, it's all good. Get these off. Right, so there's my centre line. And that's how we ended up. That looks pretty good. Be able to get to the bolts. Bolting the top on. This outside edge looks pretty good. And from the side it's going to look pretty good. That's the ends. Looking like logs again. Oh well, near enough. Alright. Table's starting to come together. I've got the board centred. And so we're going to trim that steel back a little bit. So you want it just on the edge of the wood there. There'll be a bit of a gap in these. Like, don't take any notice that they're not sitting flat. There's all bits under them. But I'm thinking something like that gap. So we'll just open them all up. And that gives them a chance to expand, do whatever they want to do without having issues. So yeah. Time to get the width sorted. Right. I've taken the bolts out of this. While it was on, the boards were there from underneath. I marked where all my holes are going to be to line up with the timber, the logs. So now we'll just drill some holes. Right, about to cut the ends off. I just get this is just MDF. Had him for quite a while. The saw doesn't cut deep enough, so I have to finish the cuts off with the hand saw. The bottom legs aren't finished yet, but I want to get a couple of coats of oil into the top. So the top's finished, each board, so I'll get a quick coat on them and that'll start the process for them. Put 2 chairs just to see what we've got to knock off of these logs, and the chairs are in about where you'd sit. Probably wouldn't sit in quite that close, but this would be an issue, so we've got to get rid of this piece here. On the other side, that doesn't look too bad. I'll just trim that off just a little bit. Just to smooth it off so you don't rub your shoe on it. This fella, although I love the look of it, has got to go, so he'll track down like that. And the big fella in here, I think just makes it. So he's staying. I will trim him off so he's all nice and smooth. Might bring it back here actually. I'll bring it back here. That looks better. Well, come on to the end game now. One more coat, and that'll do. You get to put it all together. here we are at the end of the project. I just love working with this big stuff. There's something about it. If you enjoyed the video, please click like. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. There's more to come. Thank you.